Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the Leavecast. I'm Leave3D, and I'm joined by my co-host, the Animal 189.
Hello.
Otherwise known as Cable, and I'm also joined by my other co-host, JupiterDawg.
Hi.
Today we don't have Beef joining us, unfortunately, had some other matters to attend to. But let's start off today by talking about, there's a lot of stuff happening in the summer. You know, E3 got canceled this year, but Summer Games Fest still exists, and there's a lot of potential for cool games to come out.
When did we have Summer Games Fest last? Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Pretty sure it was
We've
last
had it
year.
every year.
Yeah.
Since 19, I think we've had it consistently.
Okay.
Or since 20.
I think it was 20, because E3 was canceled 20, and then they had it 21, but it was really lame.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty disappointing both years, just from my perspective.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, like, Saints Row got announced at one of them, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a big Saints Row fan. Mind you, this new one is kind of like, I'm glad that they're rebooting it, because I feel like they just kind of went off the deep end way too fast, because, like, Saints Row 1, 2, and 3 were all kind of like crime boss with like a little bit of cartoony side to it. And then 4 was like, you're the president of the United States with superpowers. And then the one after that, you went to hell. And I think they brought some characters over to that like weird, it wasn't Crackdown, what was it? Agents of Mayhem, where I think they brought Kinsey and Pearson. And like, yeah, I never played it because the reviews weren't so good. I think I own it now, but I'm really glad that they're rebooting the series just because you can kind of get back to the roots, and it's not like you have to one-up being in hell or being a superhero.
I've not played one. Do you think you could start out with this one?
Absolutely, because it's a reboot. I think it's honestly going to introduce a lot of people, and honestly, a lot of people kind of dropped it after the whole superhero thing because it was kind of cool at first, but then it was like, does this really fit?
I see.
My only experience with Saints Row is when Jam and I tried to play it at co-op Saints Row 3. That was an adventure.
Yeah, when Saints Row 3 Remastered came out, me and Cable tried to play it online together, and for some weird reason, the online co-op only works as LAN, so you have to use a VPN to be on the same network, which I don't know if they ever fixed that, but otherwise I actually had a decent amount of fun. I think in terms of playing the game, which, you know, again, a lot of performance issues with the online where it would like crash and stuff, but when it did work, I think me and Cable had a pretty decent amount of fun.
It was an okay time. I don't think we ever went back to it, but I mean, I would be open to playing the new one together.
Yeah,
The new one's
same here.
pretty co-op, right? Like, it's co-op emphasized.
I'm pretty sure it has co-op. Like that, I'm pretty sure it's been a staple since 3 to have online co-op. Like I think even 2 had co-op. I'm not 100% sure because 2 has never really been like ridiculously accessible. Like you can play on console, but the PC port is pretty broken on any modern hardware.
I see. So, this summer, we have Jeff doing his Game Fest event. We have Microsoft and Bethesda showcase, and nothing else confirmed. I'm sure Ubisoft will do one of their Ubisoft Connect.
Nintendo will definitely do a Nintendo Direct for sure.
It's been said that we're going to get at least Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 news next month. So I would expect Square to announce one of their own Square Presents or whatever. And they also said that they have a Final Fantasy 16 trailer that's ready to go. So I expect a live event from them during the same time next month that shows off the 7 Remake Part 2 news and will give us a 16 trailer. And honestly, I hope that's all that they do.
I really hope we see 7 Remake. It was my first Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 1.
That is so sad to hear.
Really, because I fucking love that game. Yeah, it made me cry.
I'm sure Cable just means that, like, you know, there's so many other Final Fantasies. I think, you know, Cable feels a little old now, considering I wouldn't doubt that one of Cable's first Final Fantasies was one from the PlayStation 1 era, if not maybe even the Super Nintendo era.
My first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy VIII, and that was from 98 or 99.
Yeah, I don't know like if it's general knowledge, but like I got into games in like 2017, so
okay.
I have no history with this stuff.
Okay. As a fan of Final Fantasy since 98 or 99, whenever that came out, I did play Final Fantasy VII back, not when it first came out, but back when I was really young. And I played the remake, and I did not like the remake.
Really?
Did not like it.
Man, I loved it. Are you hyped for 16 now?
Sort of. 16, what we've seen so far, which we've only seen the one trailer, it looks like 15. Like the combat from 15, and
Right.
I do not like 15's combat.
Okay.
If it's very heavily polished, there's been rumors that 16 plays a lot like Devil May Cry 5. And if that's the case, I'm on board.
I think James would like that.
I mean, I have mixed opinions on Final Fantasy. Like, I think my first Final Fantasy was a spin-off, and it was Chocobo's Dungeon for the Wii. I gave it a last, but I actually had a great time with it. I never beat it. I was meant to beat the remaster, because they remastered it on PS4 and Switch, Chocobo's Dungeon Everybody. I'm trying to think what I played afterwards. I think after that, I kind of got introduced to like the PlayStation 1 era, but I also bought a couple of the iOS ports. Like I think I played a little bit of Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on iOS. Honestly, not that bad. I don't know if they hold up now, but Final Fantasy 15 definitely hooked me in significantly, you know, as far as Final Fantasy can hook me in, because it's always the kind of game where like I kind of drop out after the first chapter, after the intro, because I've played Lightning Returns, and you know, it's always the same story. But Final Fantasy 15 was definitely one where I was just like, yeah, like I kind of want to like go explore and stuff. The combat wasn't deep, but then again, I have sky high expectations for combat that will never be met, because I just compare everything to Devil May Cry. So I need to learn to appreciate combat in games more. But I genuinely don't believe that we will see Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 this summer, because Final Fantasy 16 and Remake Part 2, like, it's a lot. I'm not saying it's impossible, but
Are you saying we won't see a trailer, or we won't see the game released?
I'm saying the best that I believe we're going to get, and I would especially like to be wrong, is an announcement that it is in the middle of production or nearing the end of production or something like that.
They've already said that they're giving us information about 7 Remake Part 2 next month. They've already announced that.
But to what scale is the information, right? Like, it could be
We
like...
don't know.
Yeah, I don't think like we're going to get like gameplay. I highly doubt. I honestly think maybe a cinematic could be up there, because I think when 7 Remake got announced, I don't think any of that first trailer was in engine. I think it was all cinematic. That's fine, gets people hyped. I'm down for it, but it just kind of and then again, like Final Fantasy 7 Remake was kind of in dev hell, because like they remember when they rebooted the development, and it literally felt like the game was never going to come out. Yeah, but otherwise, I want to see more Among Us VR, because that was initially announced at the Game Awards, and I think they're going to show off more during Summer Games Fest.
I completely forgot that was announced.
Yeah, and, you know, we'll talk about me and my new stint in VR later in the podcast, but honestly, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to a lot. I'm kind of hoping that we see a good amount from Capcom. You know, like we talked about a little bit last podcast, but Devil May Cry's 20th anniversary has seen no gaming news at all, and it just feels like such a shame. It seems even in Japan like it's just merch, and you know, that's it. And I don't care if it's something small, I just want something new, you know, a Switch port of, you know, 4 or 5. I just want to see something that's a little bit bigger than the Twitter account changing their profile picture. Resident Evil news would be amazing too.
You know what we haven't gotten, and it was announced that we would get it, but it's been a year since it came out. We have not gotten Village DLC. But didn't they say there would be DLC?
The initial leak that was like completely accurate said that there would be DLC, but that might have been scrapped at this point, because right now we know that at least a portion of Resident Evil projects that are confirmed to be going on right now is Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 getting ray tracing support on next-gen consoles as well as PCs. And Resident Evil Reverse that has also seemingly had some development issues, because that, I believe, was supposed to come out at the beginning of last year.
It was originally supposed to release with Village, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and it currently has a 2022 release.
Okay, and then 4 remake, right?
That was part of a leak, but I think it's just we're gonna see it happen because I feel like they're kind of drumming up hype with Resident Evil 4 VR, and next up on the plate is going to be it's going to be 4 remake. I wouldn't be surprised if they ported Resident Evil 4 VR to well, I say ported, but brought it over to Steam as opposed to it being Oculus exclusive. But you never know, because Resident Evil 7 VR stayed on PlayStation forever. I believe I found some articles claiming it would eventually be ported, but I don't have those up right now, so I can't speak to their validity.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to see this summer? What are you hoping to see from Xbox?
I'm not an Xbox fan personally. I do like their Game Pass. I use it on PC, but I don't play Xbox, so.
I'm the same. I don't have an Xbox. I have PC Game Pass. It is so nice.
This is probably not such a interesting take, but I kind of hope that we see something Minecraft from Xbox, like Minecraft Dungeons 2, maybe. I think could be interesting, where they kind of make it a little bit more complicated, because in its current state, it's not really that complicated to play. It's fun enough with friends for sure, but it just doesn't feel like it's really that deep at all. It just kind of feels very very grindy, honestly.
I really did not enjoy my time with Dungeons.
Yeah.
It felt really basic, and then they kept making this really expensive and way too little too late DLC. I don't know.
You're
Not
super
a good
right.
time.
My first playthrough of Dungeons before it got a lot of balancing updates was just really hellacious, because it was you literally were forced, for some reason it locked lower difficulties on later levels. So when you're finishing the end of your first campaign, because the nature of these games is to replay on higher difficulties, when I was towards the end of my first campaign, I was my armor and stuff is literally not good enough to do the last level, and I just had to grind. And it's just Diablo doesn't force you to play on higher difficulties. It just doesn't.
Oh, I thought that was just me. Dude, the last level took me as long as the rest of the game did.
Yeah, but when me and Cable played it together recently, I honestly felt like it was so balanced.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good that they fixed it.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
They have a new DLC that I'm kind of interested to try. I think it's free DLC, but you can get a battle pass for it. Cloudy Climb, where you got to climb up the levels, and it's just it's completely randomized, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that kind of Bloody Palace from Devil May Cry-esque, kind of you don't know what you're expecting. Yeah, I'm trying to think let's talk Nintendo, because I don't think we've mentioned anything Nintendo for what we want this summer. I would say what I want is my sky-high expectations to be shattered, and then be confused as to why my sky-high expectations were not met.
So this is kind of a segue into the next segment we've got here after this one. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 gets released in the end of June, I believe?
Early July.
July, okay. And that's a thing that people are excited about, and I'll get into that more when we change subjects. So, go ahead.
From Nintendo, I think they've got a pretty good schedule this year. Nintendo's I'm a Nintendo guy. This is what I like to see. So I think they really have a good year going for them. It's weird the way they stacked it, though. They have 2 games in June, none in May, none in August, 1 in July, or 2 in July. It's a weird schedule, but it is pretty packed, and I don't see us getting too many announcements for this year. My 2 biggest hopes would be, and this is so lame of me to hope for this, but I really want Wind Waker on the Switch. And then
or
I
even
also
Twilight Princess.
Yep. Yeah, either of them. I'm personally more excited for the potential of Wind Waker, but I do need to try Twilight Princess. And then I want a Mario and Luigi game. I know it's ridiculously complicated right now with Alpha Dream going bankrupt, and the series was really overdone in the 3DS era, but I would love a new one.
I think we could definitely see a remake, potentially Partners in Time, because it was the one Mario and Luigi game from that kind of beginner era that wasn't remade. Because they skipped it because they did Superstar Saga and Bowser's Bowser's Inside Story, but they skipped Partners in Time, so it might be a good time maybe like hand it over to Grezzo or somebody like that to do a new Mario and Luigi game.
I feel like Nintendo's learned by now not to not to keep remaking them, because I think sales for those games were low, obviously leading to Alpha Dream going bankrupt.
Yeah, I never really felt like I wanted Dream Team. Like Bowser's Inside Story looked cool as all hell, and I wanted it like back when it was like kind of was first coming out. But Dream Team, and what was the other one that came out? It was 3DS exclusive. Paper Jam.
Paper Jam.
Yeah, Paper Jam. I was kind of like, I like Paper Mario a lot, but this just kind of feels reverse. You know?
Quick tangent on Paper Mario. Have you guys played Bug Fables?
I have not, but I really want to. I need to set time aside.
I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
It's like a completely Paper Mario inspired. It's just about bugs. It's amazing. Like, it's probably a top 50 game for me. It's so good. I really recommend you guys play it. It's like you can tell how much they looked at Paper Mario, but then they also take it further. You gotta play it. It's so good.
It looks really good. Like, it's really exciting to think about, like, a spiritual, like, Paper Mario 3, because, like, yes, I know Super Mario is Paper Mario 3, but the mechanics never went back to how similar Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door were. Going back to Zelda, Marco Maro, who is semi-popular Twitch Nintendo leaker, has mentioned, like, forever that they're going to come out with Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, and I believe the last thing that they said was that they want to do it to drum up hype for Breath of the Wild 2. Like, Breath of the Wild 2 comes out in, 3 months, 6 months. Let's release these to kind of make people want more Zelda. Ditto with this Metroid Prime HD trilogy that we've been hearing rumors about, I'm pretty sure, since the Switch launched. I think it's probably the Switch's most heavily rumored game. I am kind of curious about the Mother series. It's been talked about a lot. I know it's everybody's like, it's the joke bingo card slot, that Nintendo localizes Mother 3. But I really do want a remake, and they just added them a few months ago to Nintendo Switch Online, both Earthbound Beginnings and Earthbound, which is really cool. And I want to see Mother 3 leave Japan officially. And if it doesn't happen, it is what it is. But I think if there's a time to do it on Switch, at least, now is the time.
I hold out hope for a lot of series, but Mother and F-Zero are on my just permanent, never get hope for those. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I lost hope, probably I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago, but just right now, there's just something just a little bug in my ear, just saying maybe, yeah. And that's about it. I'm trying to think what our franchises. What was the last mainline Mario game we got? Because there was Mario Odyssey, then there was the Mario U remaster, Bowser's Fury. Yeah, we're getting about time for our next Mario stint. I think they're gonna stay away from 2D for a while. I think we're ready for hopefully Odyssey 2, because Odyssey felt amazing to play. I'm really sad that they didn't do more post-launch content, because there is so much there, truly. Really.
I don't see Mario, just for now. I mean, I'm not Nintendo, but I don't see it getting better than the Cappy moveset. It's just so fluid and smooth. I feel like that's just what Mario's always been going towards, is having the Cappy moveset. It's so fun to play around with.
Yeah, that is definitely the play. I think that Odyssey was nice because as a completionist, it challenges people who are kind of more advanced game players, but also it's very easy for a kid to pick it up and not have to worry about the game's too hard for me to beat the story, right? Because I felt that was probably out of all the official Mario games, because I play my fair share of ROM hacks, it was probably the hardest Mario game I've ever played in terms of completing 100%, because some of those final moons are absolutely just they take so much out of you. I'm curious, because last podcast we talked about Nintendo getting greedy, and alongside that it also kind of feels like they're getting lazy, and they're like Mario Golf got hardly any post-launch support. I think I got a couple of characters, and that's it.
They had four courses they added. but it was too slow. And I really am not looking forward to Strikers. It looks pretty bare bones.
Yeah, it doesn't have that personality that Strikers 1 and Charged for the Wii had, because like those games felt like the edge, like the only like thing that feels like those old Strikers games is the box art, and that's literally it. Otherwise, it's not it. It could be time for Metroid, you know, but then again, I don't know where Metroid Prime 4 is in development. You know, we had that reset a couple of years ago.
Are we really expecting something else to come out this year? Because Pokemon is the new Pokemon is coming out. I expected that to be their big thing.
I think, Pokemon will be the holiday title, I think.
Yeah, Mario or Metroid would probably be the holiday title, I think. Like, then again, I don't know where Metroid Prime 4 is in development. I think, but I don't think it'll be just Pokemon because it's a completely separate dev team. You know, it's like...
That's what they did in, like, 19 with Sword and Shield. So they could do it again. But, like, the new rumor is just a Prime 1 remake or remaster, which is so dumb and annoying, but it's like the most Nintendo thing ever. Like 100% October or like August.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if the Nintendo holiday title, like I feel like E3 could be, or the E3 time, you know, this Nintendo Direct that is in the summer could be Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess get announced for the end of the year, and that's kind of like their Nintendo holiday title. Then they also have Pokemon, and then Breath of the Wild 2 gets released in the first half of 2023.
Yep. Yeah, that would make good sense.
Yeah.
Sony, they haven't been doing any kind of E3 presence, but they've been doing their State of Plays, which is like the next 2 months, and then they've been doing the Future of Gaming presentations, which is like the big PS5 stuff.
Me and Cable just want the exact same thing when it comes to Sony. It's literally just one little tiny thing, and it's not hard. Yeah, oh, what did you just... What's a Bloodborne? What is a Bloodborne? Sorry, blood? What is that? Is that... Yes, JD, it's Bloodborne. Yeah. It's Bloodborne. Mm-hmm. We've been waiting. I don't think we've ever
talked about that.
No, I don't think we have either. Yeah. We've been waiting so patiently for more Bloodborne. Let that be a PC port, which I am still praying for. Or a PS5 remake, a la, you know, the Demon Souls remake, or, you know, God forbid, both, and a sequel. Because let's talk about the Bloodborne rumors really quick.
Yes.
We have this crazy rumor that there is a Bloodborne remake by Bluepoint, a Bloodborne 2 by Bluepoint, and a Bloodborne PC port, which is just crazy that there is that much Bloodborne stuff in development right now. And it's believable. And honestly, I think I can trust Bluepoint to do a Bloodborne 2. Will it surpass the first one? I don't know. You know, it kind of closes the book pretty well without, you know, spoiling it, the story. I want more Bloodborne, and it feels like Sony is trying to starve me of Bloodborne. Is there anything else that we want to cover for the summer game events kind of stuff? I mean, I was kind of memeing when I said me and Cable just want one thing. There might be some other stuff that Cable wants in the summer.
I
want a God of War Ragnarok release date.
I think we'll get that. We got our first look at it today. Very brief. It was just like
Did we really?
Features. It wasn't a trailer. It was just going over their accessibility stuff. But it's like the first time they've mentioned it. Still on track for 2022. And the like little video they showed with like the different kinds of subtitles. The graphics got a pretty like noticeable upgrade from the first trailer. So that's nice to see. Nice. Yeah. So I definitely want that from Sony. It's dumb. It's so dumb. But I want Last of Us 1 remake. That's been rumored for like a year now. I want that because I'm the worst.
I'd be down for a PC port remake of that to come back to it with mouse and keyboard controls. I'm not a fan of The Last of Us when I initially played it, and I do occasionally change my opinion on a replay. Something else, Persona. It's that time of the year. I think maybe Persona 6, Persona 3 remake, hell, maybe both is something we could see there. Then again, they might save it for the Persona concert.
I just want a 3 remake.
I also want that. Let's move into our next topic. games that have kind of disappointed us that we've played recently in the last year.
Does anyone else want to start?
You can start, Cable.
Games that has disappointed me. Let me start with the Xenoblade, since I mentioned that. I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, then played maybe 10 hours of it, then played Torna, which is kind of an expansion to 2, and still, again, got like 5 to 10 hours into it, and they're okay. I can see why people like them, but man, they're just boring. Like, they're not bad games, they just didn't hold my attention. And then people were really hype about the definitive edition release of 1 on Switch, so I got it, tried it, and I did play it a little more than I played 2 or Torna. I got like 20 hours into it. I again stopped playing.
I'm the same way. I haven't played 2 or Torna or X, but I picked up Definitive Edition, and I liked it. Like, it was just a beautiful world. It's just a kind of interesting story, but it could not hold me more than like 10 or 15 hours.
Yeah, I agree. Beyond that, well, let me add to that also. I expected to like it. I love JRPGs. That is my favorite game style, I guess. Favorite genre. JRPGs, I love them. But unfortunately, it was not into it. And then my second one, that James is going to not like here. We talked about it last time. James gifted me Lego Skywalker Saga. I played it. I got, I think, to chapter or episode, not episode, to each episode has 5 or 6 chapters, right?
5.
Like 6 levels?
Yeah, 5 levels, yeah.
Okay. I got to either the 4th or the 5th level, and it kept crashing on me, and I tried to verify the Steam files. I uninstalled, reinstalled. I updated my graphics drivers. Still continued to do it. So I didn't play it much. To that, I'll say I didn't really like the game anyway. I wasn't into it. It was not super fun. The throwing the lightsaber was very satisfying. And lightsaber combat, like I do appreciate how they kind of refined the lightsaber combat from the complete saga that we got, 10 years ago or so.
Complete Saga is pretty mindless for, I think it came out in 2007. But yeah, Skywalker Saga really does a lot to overhaul combat. And I really appreciate what they do there. Honestly, it feels so much like a breath of fresh air. I can kind of see the repetitiveness. It's a shame that you felt it so early, because I think when I played the whole story all the way through, I kind of started to feel it, because I played in the chronological order, so 1 through 9. Around episode 4 or 5, I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel like these are, similar puzzles happening over and over and over again, which, yeah, I can understand that criticism. But then again, huge nostalgia goggles are on my face for that one, because Lego Star Wars was the first game I ever owned. So obviously Skywalker Saga was like such a huge blast of nostalgia for me.
I have a question about the new Star Wars. I want
Please.
both of your answers. I've not played it. I'm looking at my copy right now, unopened. One thing I've noticed when just looking at the footage and everything that I haven't seen anyone talk about, it just seems to have the shittiest fucking UI or HUD that I've ever seen. It's like big and intrusive. Is that noticeable in the game, or is that like, am I making that up?
I mean, I agree with you, but James probably won't agree with you.
No, I actually do. My biggest complaint is probably with the UI, switching characters. If you're switching to a character that isn't like in your party, because, when you're playing through the story, it'll be like you'll be Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and, Padme, whoever, and you just click the bumpers to switch in between them. But let's say you're just screwing around in the galaxy and you want to go do a puzzle. It's like, okay, I want to switch to Boba. And I just can't, like, if you asked me to explain to you how to change your character in detail, I couldn't, like I can say like, yeah, you go in the menu and you switch your character, but it just feels like not very user friendly at all. It feels like there was definitely a lot of room to improve there, but yeah, they did actually, funny enough, the day we're recording this, they released a patch for it, and it fixed one of my other biggest complaints, performance issues, because the part of episode 2 Attack of the Clones where they're in the droid factory and Anakin and Padme are like, they're screwing around the droid factory. The performance on my 3080 just absolutely went to shit at launch, and I couldn't fathom why until I realized they didn't optimize it for 30 series cards. I believe they optimized it for AMD cards or even 10 series cards. But then again, with how much cable crashed, I don't know if that was something related to his GPU, because he's on a 10 series card. So it could be something related to the GPU, could be something else entirely. But I checked 3 different areas that gave me lag in the new patch that came out today, and they all play fairly smooth. I wouldn't say that it's 100% optimized, but I would say at launch, like the droid factory level was unplayable. Like I was fighting to get through it, and now
wow,
like it hits 60, but I was looking, I was like, this isn't 144, and the game will hit 144 most of the time. Yeah. JupiterDawg just shared a picture here in regards to the UI, and I'm looking here, and it does look like in this picture it makes it look a little intrusive, but this is a boss fight, which they show up every now and then. They're not uncommon for sure, but during gameplay, like, most of this stuff disappears. Like, it's usually just the map.
Okay. Just like watching trailers and stuff. It's all I've been able to focus on. So I'm glad to hear that it kind of goes away when you're...
Yeah, that's understandable. Like, a lot of this stuff shows up during combat, but I just personally, I didn't find it intrusive. I found it not amazing because, I do, I would say like UI design is something I specialize in, and there's definitely a lot of room to improve, but you know what? Overall, definitely not like horrible.
Yeah.
JupiterDawg, what other games did you find disappointing?
We're talking recently?
Yeah.
Gran Turismo 7. It's my first Gran Turismo. I got like 5 hours out of it. Just not for me. Like, I'm sure it's a good game, actually. Just like the drive like really smoothly on the course, don't go into the rubble, like drive perfect lines, like compared to like a off-road racing like a Forza Horizon or even, I know it's a bad comparison, but like Mario Kart. It's just not interesting to me. It couldn't hold me for very long. And I was not impressed by the way it looked. Like, I don't know, like, because they put so much effort into it, and they did a lot of these dev videos that made it, like, the systems they use there are really cool, and they make it really realistic, but, like, I'd much rather be playing or looking at, again, Mario Kart or the new Forza. I don't know, it just didn't grab me.
You just reminded me, like, I think this summer we're due for a Mario Kart announcement.
Nope. Oh, for the new tracks. Yeah, for sure. I thought you meant 9, which is...
No, I mean that too, but like, I honestly kind of forgot about the booster pass for a second there. You just reminded me. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, now that you reminded me, like, I definitely, now I really don't think we're gonna do Mario Kart. Yeah, but I don't know, these, like, I know we just got them like 2 months ago, but it just feels like so long. Like, I kind of honestly wish instead of doing 6 waves, they do 12, where instead of it's 2 cups per wave, it's 1 cup per wave.
I wish they would do 3, and then we'd play them longer. But what do you think of the new courses?
Mixed bag. Toad Circuit is horrendous and easily one of the laziest courses that was developed. I don't like to use that word for game development a lot because, you never know what kind of circumstances are behind developers, right? But it's like Paris Promenade was really good, and the contrast in quality between Paris Promenade and Toad Circuit is it's night and day. Yeah, I'd say, like, if you were to ask me to average the quality on a scale from 1 to 10, I would say it's probably around a 7. And like Toad Circuit drops it. Actually, no, I'd say it's like a 6. And Toad Circuit drops it from an 8 to a 6 on its own.
I was gonna say a 6 as well. I think Toad was pretty rough. The road, the highway level, it's just a lot weaker than the highway level that's already in Mario Kart 8.
I don't know. I honestly really like that course for the way that, like, I don't feel like there's a lot of courses that have extremely tight turns because, like, I'd say that, like, fair. In terms of, like, Mario Kart players. Like I'd say like I'm advanced, you know, like I have goal like 3 stars on every cup for every speed. And I want more challenges on 200cc, and that is easily the most challenging course on 200cc.
Okay, tell me this.
Yeah.
And this is such a little thing that I should not be bringing up here. But on that course, there's a little straightaway section where there's 2 like rolling hills. Can you trick off of those?
I'm sorry, rolling, like what do you mean?
Like they go up and then they go down. They go up and they go down. It's just like a little straightaway.
No, you can't
road.
trick off of those. That's just
Why
straight
are
road.
they there? What?
Because that's how it was in the DS version.
I don't.
But at the same time, if they made like ramps there, like the cars wouldn't be able to go through, right? Because they have cars on a track.
Yeah, I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way. But yeah, I'd say in general, I think a 6 is a pretty good way to sum up the quality. All right, your disappointing game.
Elden Ring. No, I'm kidding. I just wanted to make Cable mad.
Leave right now.
Honestly, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've played that many disappointing games recently. Cable might honestly know my pick better than I would.
What do you mean?
I just mean like you're in my stream so often, just because like then again I've played a lot of games.
I don't remember anything you played just like one time and said, I'm not into this.
Yeah, I mean there was games I played long, like, you know, JupiterDawg's gonna kill me, but The Last of Us.
Oh, really?
It's
That's cool. Sorry, I'm gonna
finish that.
I'm gonna throw away my copy of Bloodborne. I'll be back in a sec. Oh.
Yeah, no, The Last of Us was I have a lot of gripes, like the sections where there's some sections where they want you to stealth through, and when you're stealthing through them, it just feels
really good, intense. Yeah,
it just feels like overtly punishing. And there'd be times when I was just like, okay, like as a meme, because I was streaming as a meme for chat, I would just run through the very end. And the first time I succeeded, I was genuinely shocked, and I was just like, why did the game make me like try so hard to stealth through when seemingly if I stealth, they're more likely to find me than if I just run through at top speed.
I think I'm just bad at the stealth.
All right,
Yikes.
JupiterDawg. Like that was really frustrating, and also I kind of felt like they threw a lot of characters away that weren't Joel and Ellie's her name, right?
Yeah.
A lot of characters that weren't Joel and Ellie just kind of felt like they were thrown away a little too quickly.
And you really liked the way that they showed like different reactions to the apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that. Yeah,
That's cool. Like,
and you love the game, and
like I'm being genuine. Like I did kind of like the different reactions that they had from the characters. Yeah, my gripes more come from the gameplay and the story. I think I could maybe like it more if I paid more attention, like trying to get those like comic book collectibles to, you know, get more of that. But I just kind of felt like I had a hard time caring, and that's a very controversial opinion for me to have. But you know, that's just kind of how it is.
Like I totally get it. It's really not everyone's thing.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna buy you that remake though. I'll make you play it.
I'm down for a remake. If they make a remake, sure, I'll buy it. I'll try it. You know, I'll hope that they kind of change enemy AI a tad, just to kind of maybe make it like a little bit more like if I'm stealthing successfully, I don't want to be punished for it. You know, like I don't want to feel like I'm trying my best and that it's not working. I don't want to be rewarded for trying to cheese either, you know? Like it's funny when I'm streaming, but in the end it's like I feel like the game developers failed on what they set out to achieve, because if I'm stealthing, and I think the area that I have in mind where it's like a subway kind of looking area, and there's a bunch of those guys that are like, they're not big, but like, you know, they're kind of like at the beginning of the game, it's just like, better be careful of these guys. I wouldn't remember.
Clickers.
Yeah, the clickers. So there's like a subway area full of clickers, and I swear I attempted that area almost 10 times. And the time when I just attempted the run through was just like, I was just mad because I was just like, I was really trying my best to stealth, right? And I'm not a stealth game veteran. I don't find stealth to be engaging. I just don't get that sense of tension, and, you know, that's just me. But
Cable, have you played either of them?
Yeah, and I have the same opinion as James. I
Oh my.
did
Okay.
not get into it. I thought they were super overhyped. I did play one all the way through when it first came out,
Okay.
and everyone was, giving it 10-star reviews, and I was just like, I mean, it's okay, but
Okay. Have you touched the second one?
nope.
Oh,
And I
okay.
probably will not.
No worries on that. I want to say I think they made more gameplay improvements in the second one, even though the story became, obviously, as we all know, way more controversial. But I really think they upped the ante on the gameplay. And now I'm going to stop talking about Last of Us.
So I've got a little info to share here. When it comes to games that you expected not to like, but do actually like, there's not much that I can really get into here. I've got kind of one that'll make you say, why are you just now picking that up? The past few days, have just gotten into Skyrim for the first time.
You know what I'm going to say?
What?
Never played Skyrim.
What? James?
I've played Skyrim. I played it on the PS3. I played it on PC, and like I think the farthest I ever made it in was like 3 hours. It's like I got I think the farthest I ever made it is I got the shout, and that was about it. When I got the PlayStation VR, I got the VR version of Skyrim, and I don't really have strong opinions on the PlayStation VR. Again, we'll talk about it later when I decide to go on a 5-hour rant on virtual reality. But every time I just like I can't get like really far into it. It just doesn't work for me. I want to, now that I have my new VR headset, I think now might be the time to get into Skyrim by doing the Skyrim VR on Steam. Because
Right.
the Quest has better tracking than PlayStation VR.
Yeah. Okay, but you said it exceeded your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, like, I just never really played it. I'm into RPGs, so I should have played it. But I started to play it because the past few months I've really gotten into Dungeons and Dragons. And I've got a few campaigns going, but the people that I play that with, we aren't super regular. So I wanted to play something that was kind of gave me the Dungeons and Dragons feel. So I picked it up on Switch. And I'm really enjoying playing it on Switch. Really, really enjoying it.
That's awesome. I have one. Very recent. Guardians of the Galaxy. The Square Enix Guardians of the Galaxy.
I
They
bought
nailed
that
it.
when it first came out, but I really haven't given it any time. I've
Okay.
heard that it's good, but I haven't given it any time.
After like completely fumbling the Avengers, I thought, they might mess this one up again. But like completely single player, no microtransactions, no multiplayer, no anything, just a linear. There's not even any side quests, which I mean that's not really something I should discount a game for having, but it's just really focused linear story, and it's really good. Like I have a hard time even connecting to the movie characters now, despite loving the movie, because the game just brings them to life so well. It's good.
Yeah, that's really nice to hear. I should really give it the time because I've heard so much about it.
Yeah, I really want to get into it too. Like, there's been so many Steam sales. Yeah, I'm really wanting to get into it, and it's coming to PlayStation's new like plus tier where you get to stream games or what? Not stream games, but you get a bunch more games, like essentially PlayStation Game Pass.
Yeah.
I think
so
it's coming to like the second tier of 3.
yeah, like I think
then-
that might be the
Okay.
time that I want to kind of try it out on PlayStation 5. Maybe
Yep.
I prefer to play it on PC, but I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth, right?
It's on Game Pass.
That's true, but I can't I say this all the time, but like I just own too many games on Game Pass, whereas on PlayStation I don't own as many of those exclusives, and it feels slightly more worth it, but at the same time it's like I don't see PlayStation Game Pass and I'm just like, yes, I need it.
So
Yeah.
when that new PlayStation Plus comes out, I'm going to subscribe to the highest tier.
As
That's
well.
just because of like all of the classics that I'm hoping they're going to be bringing. I have very recently wanted to start playing all of my PS2 or JRPGs again. So I was debating on should I buy a PS2 and get all of the scalped prices on the old JRPGs that are probably now over $100 each, or should I, hopefully wait till they come to the new
Yeah.
PlayStation service?
I really don't like the way they've revealed the new service. Like, it's been weird. Like, when they first did it, they were like, oh, the extra tier is gonna have 400 games, the premium is gonna have 700 games, and then they revealed them like last week, but that was only some of the games.
Yeah, somebody on Reddit posted saying that it's probably just going to be that plus all the games that are on PlayStation Now, which is that like that 700 games? Like, I'm doubtful.
Yeah,
I don't know. PlayStation Now has been saying that it has like 400 games in it. And I have looked at PlayStation Now's like catalog, and there are quite a few different PS1, PS2, PS4 games in it. There are PS3 games, but PS3 games you have to stream, where the others you can download, which is stupid.
Yeah, I'm really not excited to stream PS3 games.
I would like to play through Metal Gear Solid 4 again, because that's still stuck on the PlayStation 3. It has not been remastered or anything since PlayStation 3.
Right. But there's a lot of classic series that I just have never touched that I need to go through. Like Ratchet and Clank, got like the original God of Wars, Jak and Daxter, that hopefully...
I was just about to say Jak and Daxter is one that I never got into, but I think I would like it.
I really think I'd enjoy it, yeah. And I've never touched it. So hopefully the new service just lets people play a ton of PlayStation's history. I don't think they're going to be doing day one releases.
I think they've already said they're not going to do that, but I don't think they're ever going to change their mind and say, hey, we're going to start doing that.
I don't think so. But there are some pretty notable PS5 games on there. There's Returnal, there's Spider-Man,
Demon Souls.
Demon Souls.
I believe Returnal.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. And then I think Deathloop is on there too, right?
Deathloop?
I thought it was. Maybe not. I don't remember, to be honest.
I don't know. It should lose its exclusivity pretty soon. I think we'll see that at the Xbox showcase.
Beyond that, I'm doing it mainly for the classics that I'm hoping they'll bring in. The classics that they've announced so far were very underwhelming.
Yeah, it definitely was not a complete list.
Guys, one PSP game. One.
And 0 PS2, I believe.
Oh, there was some PS2 in there.
Did they show PS2 games?
Yeah, there was probably 20 or 30.
I think most... Okay. I might have to look at the list again.
Like, some were remasters, but it's literally just like a straight port with, anti-aliasing and 1080p.
Yeah, I think most of the PS2 stuff was like the PS3, quote, HD versions of like the God of War trilogy. Cable, you said you're going for the highest tier?
Yeah, the highest tier just for the classics. Okay,
I am too, mostly because I just don't know what the medium tier is, and I'd rather just have it all.
The plus tier, that's the mid tier. I believe that is just the extra PS4 and PS5 games.
Okay, yeah, so I'll definitely go for the top one. Is it $120 a year?
No, the extra tier I think was $99 a year, and then the premium classics tier is the $120.
Yeah, okay. $120 is reasonable for that, I hope. What are your thoughts on price versus value?
It feels like a lot compared to Game Pass.
Yeah, definitely
That's
does.
Fair. Game Pass is $120, right? At least the PC is $10 a month.
The Ultimate, which gets you cloud, console, and PC, is $120. But that just kind of has a little more value sounding like, because going with PlayStations, you can still only play it on PlayStation. I don't believe they have a service for PC, do they?
PS Now is also on PC. But
that's true.
I don't know how they're going to do that.
They're getting rid of PS Now for the new PS Plus, though, right?
I think they are.
Yeah,
that's true.
Also going to counter you, because I just had a suspicion, but yeah, Game Pass Ultimate is $15 a month, not $10 now. I think they upped it pretty recently.
Right, and the Ultimate, is that Ultimate or is that base?
Ultimate is $15, base is $10.
Okay. Yeah, so that would come out to around there. So yeah.
So it's $180 for Ultimate, $120 for regular. And then Nintendo's $20 or $50, and it's the worst weird pricing of all time.
Yeah.
But
I don't really get much value out of Nintendo's because I'm not a Nintendo person anyway. I don't play Mario Kart or anything like that, so I get nothing out of it.
I don't see value in, and I know this is dumb to say, but like a lot of NES games just do not hold up.
No, you're
SNES
right.
and N64, like there's some really good ones on there. But when they just add like every month like 3 more NES games, I've never heard of, and I think a lot of people have never heard of. Like I can't get excited over that. But there were rumors of GBA. That would definitely add value if they keep doing it to where it's like another expansion pass for the GBA. Like this is the GBA expansion pass. That would really kill it for me.
Yeah, GBA would add a lot of value depending on their selection. If there's no Pokemon, sorry,
There's still some good stuff without Pokemon. You got Minish
I'm not
Cap.
saying completely devalues it,
Yeah.
but their selection is really going to matter because if I'm getting, Battle for Bikini Bottom, the GBA edition, alongside Super Mario Kart and Metroid Zero Mission.
Yeah. Tough thing with GBA is like, it was a very short lifespan, and then also, it's a lot of remakes.
And I'm okay with that.
And remakes of games that are on NSO.
But you have to pick the good ones. Like, everybody, well, 90% of people, 99% of people want to play Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 on SNES versus GBA.
Right, and I did. And they were great. I love those games. Yeah, but the GBA versions of DKC have like some pretty cool like cinematics and stuff that I was not aware of until recently.
I actually didn't even know that, yeah.
Yeah, like intro cutscenes. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that added a lot to the value. And then this weird trend of them adding DLC to the expansion pass or pack. Like now the Octo expansion is there, the Animal Crossing, Mario Kart. I don't know how I feel about that. I'd rather they add games.
Yeah.
But I guess it's nice if you're like a core Nintendo fan and you're going to be buying all those games. I don't know.
We've already kind of covered most of Lego Star Wars. So I want to talk about virtual reality. I recently got an Oculus a couple days, actually more like a week and a half ago. I just haven't had much chance to use it because I've been working all the time. And it kind of blew my mind because PlayStation VR was like, I just felt like the tracking was bad. It was kind of hard to look at because of the screen door effect. But overall, honestly, it's such a step up. I've been playing a lot of games like Beat Saber. I've been dying to play Beat Saber since release, but I just didn't want to play it on PlayStation because again, that screen door effect is just not it. But Quest 2 with the link cable is such a blessing. The tracking is really, really good. My only complaint being when your hands are like over your head or behind your back. The tracking kind of doesn't really hold up so well because sometimes I'll play super hot and I'll be trying to grab a gun that's behind me without looking at it, and even though I'm right about where it is, if I don't look at it, I can't grab it, which is not my it's not my cup of tea. But you know what? It's a small sacrifice for cheap VR that looks really, really good.
What is the most fun VR title you've played so far?
It's a mix because I feel like with Beat Saber I have more content, but Super Hot overall is more fun, and I really wish that there was more scenarios in the story mode and maybe a little bit more weapons. Because in terms of projectile-based weapons, you have a pistol, an Uzi, and a shotgun, which, if it's the story mode takes about an hour and a half, maybe an hour, so it's not like it gets really old. But a rocket launcher would be interesting because it's a slow traveling projectile, but it does like area of effect damage, obviously. I just love VR. That's what I'm gonna say. Like VR and Oculus Quest 2 is so much better than PSVR. I'm really excited for PSVR 2 because one of the first things I'm gonna do is go back to Resident Evil 7 and try that because I really liked the VR on 7, but the screen door effect honestly kind of ruined it for me. Playing it on Quest, like I really wish I could, but Capcom hasn't taken off that PlayStation 4 exclusivity.
My experience is very limited, but I think around when you got yours, the weekend of May 6th, I was at my buddy's place using his same thing, the Quest 2, right?
Yeah.
And I played Super Hot, and I've played it on PC. It's a fun game. But in VR, it's like this almost like superhero-ish experience of like you just feel so badass, and what you're doing in the real world looks so stupid. But like it's it's such a mind-bendingly cool thing that like I really don't think other kinds of games can give you.
Yeah, it really is one of the most unique experiences on VR as a platform. I was honestly surprised because I kind of bought it on a whim because it's on sale right now, and I was like, yeah, sure, I need more VR games. If I can score them for cheap, why not? And then I played it, and I was like, this is so much fun. And I was expecting like my night after the stream, like, when I kind of just wanted to play for myself and not have to worry about, like streaming. I was expecting to play Beat Saber, but then after playing Super Hot, I was like, I just want to kick ass in Super Hot all night,
It's so fun.
Yeah, for real. Do you guys have anything else to add or ask about VR?
I don't have any experience with VR. I have never played one. I get really bad migraines, so I feel like if I did play one, it would set off my migraines. So I don't know if I ever will play one. What is a upcoming VR title that you're really excited for?
Among Us VR would definitely be one of them. It's already out, so it's not really upcoming, but I just haven't touched it yet. Resident Evil 4 VR, I feel like will be the way that I can experience Resident Evil 4 without like the clunkiness that I felt was there on the PC port.
I think that would be pretty cool. I am a sucker for exclusives and just like the brand. So my VR experience is going to wait until the new PSVR comes out, just like for the possibility that PlayStation actually does exclusives with this one. Because the first one, they didn't support it too much, right?
I don't believe so.
They had like Astro Bot, and none of like the big AAA series I feel like got adaptations.
You're right about that, but there was definitely a significant amount of other developers that were like PlayStation VR, like, yeah, let's do it, because when there was only PC VR, it didn't really feel like it was as worth it to do VR games because it's one platform. Whereas once you have PlayStation, you have a second platform, second audience. PlayStation VR was not super affordable at release, but the price dropped. Like now I think a PlayStation VR I think is half the price of a Quest.
I'll look it up. But yeah, PSVR is $300. Isn't that the same as the Quest?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe I'm just thinking about Black Friday or Boxing Day sales that I've seen.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But like the announcement of Horizon Call of the Mountain being a VR like thing for the PSVR, I am not familiar with or excited for anything Horizon related, but just like the thought of that being like, okay, we're gonna have PlayStation series all get brought over, that kind of brought me in, and I'm hoping that they do more of that. But man, the Quest looks really good right now. Just like as a one unit, you can connect it to your PC. The price is great.
Yeah,
man.
You're super right about it. Like I was kind of wary about buying one at first because like I was kind of thinking like, if I don't like it, I can always return it because I bought it on Amazon in within my 30 days. But now I'm like, I do not want to give this thing up. I really don't. Like I think the closest I'll get is if they announce the Quest 3 this year, I might sell my Quest 2 and then pay the difference to upgrade to the Quest 3.
Yeah, none of the like Facebook stuff has been too much of an issue, right? Like you don't have to like connect accounts and give away data or anything.
I mean, they make you sign on Facebook if you're going to buy stuff on the Oculus store, but I honestly just made a throwaway Facebook account just for that purpose, and immediately went to change like all my settings so that account like wouldn't be discovered, right?
Right.
Yeah, because I've heard like horror stories of people doing the same thing, but for some reason it's like they get reported, and some people have mentioned like, well, your messages are still open. And, you're getting messages about scams, and because that's your only messages that you're getting, it just kind of sets a flag off in your account. But I'm just hoping that I don't really have to worry about that. Yeah, let's talk about multiverses. That's a fucking insane concept. Like Warner Brothers literally just said all of our properties, fighting game, go.
It's interesting, and I like a lot of the roster so far, like Shaggy and Batman and the Iron Giant. Like it's such a cool idea for a crossover. I don't love that it's free to play.
Is it actually free to play? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's free to play. I don't know how the microtransactions are structured, but I feel like it's a recipe for disaster. I don't know if you guys have played Brawlhalla, but
I played a little bit. I was not a fan. It felt very cheap.
It's very cheap, and then like 90 and I could be wrong because my experiences with it is limited, but like a lot of the characters are locked off behind in-game currency, and you can earn it, but like obviously it's much easier to just buy it, and earning it takes way longer than it should. It's like the typical free-to-play Fortnite thing. So that really disappointed me, and I'm just hoping Multiverses is done well. It looks like it's being done well. I love the art style, and it seems like a lot of care is being put into it with like returning voice actors and new systems. Like it's kind of a buddy system now where you have two characters. So I think it looks interesting, but I definitely need to see more.
Yeah, I feel the same way. The amount of characters though, like I have no complaints there whatsoever, like at all. Like it's when I saw that trailer that came out recently, I was just blown away by how many characters were there.
The new like cinematic trailer was really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
the fact that they fully embraced the Ultra Instinct Shaggy thing is ridiculous, but it's so good.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, it's great to see bigger companies embracing the like meme culture a little bit.
Yeah,
to the
for
right
sure.
degree. Not all the way.
Yeah. Getting back kind of like to game disappointment, I suppose. Bethesda delayed. It was Redfall and Starfield, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have zero interest in Redfall, but Starfield is. I really would have liked to see that this year.
Starfield sounds like Skyrim in space, which to me, I'm kind of like,
awesome.
That sounds really good for other gamers, but as somebody who doesn't really feel invested in Skyrim, it's a little bit more difficult. Cable, what about you?
Yeah, no, I expected it, to be honest. I think they made a deal about Starfield getting the 11/11/22 release date, like back when they first announced it, because Skyrim was released 11/11/11.
Really?
So they said that they wanted to keep the 11/11 a thing for their big releases. So it's kind of funny that they delayed it. Did they say that it was going to be delayed into like Q1 or Q2 of 23? Or did they just say delayed?
It's the first half.
First half, okay. So they're not going to do 11/11 of 23 then.
Oh, 3/3/23 is a Friday.
I mean, they could do that and start a new thing. Redfall, was that the kind of vampire-looking one?
It's like 4-player co-op vampire shooter.
Okay, yeah, no, I do remember seeing that when they showed it off last year, I think. And it honestly looked kind of fun, but I had really expected the delays. Bethesda is not known as of currently to make good decisions, so this is probably a good decision for them to clean things up.
Yep. I look at Redfall and I just see every co-op looter shooter like get better gear that's different colors even though it looks the same and does relatively the same. Like, I can't get excited for it.
Blood, yeah.
I'm a little bit more of a pessimist when it comes to this stuff because like I feel like I get frustrated at companies that announce their games and then they delay it because it's like when a game's delayed by like half a year, it's like, how do you have like such little idea? Like, okay, delays happen, but it feels like Bethesda is a company that does it a lot. And it's like, don't give a release date until I honestly think like until you're within 3 months of release. And it doesn't have to be like, okay, like your game has 3 months of dev time left and you're going to release it 3 months later. You're allowed to have your game be complete for a few months and just kind of keep it on the shelf.
Right.
But
last year at E3, like I guess it's cool that now that I know about the Skyrim tradition, it is cool that they announced the 11/11/22 thing. But like that was a year and a half from when we saw that. It's like, man, that was really early to give a release date.
Yeah.
They could have said like late 2022 and then delayed it. I like when we're far out. I like just getting release windows.
I like that too, but it always makes me wary because it's like you're gonna upset a whole lot of people. And random example, New Blood, I think they've only ever delayed a game once, and it was Dusk on Switch. And ever since then, they just say coming soon until they know the date. Because Dusk on Switch, I think, got delayed like months and months and months and months. Like it was a very, very long time. But yeah, no, it's like that's what I want to see. Just coming soon. Don't give me a time because you're just gonna disappoint me. And there's the other side of things where it's just like I don't get so invested. But it's like, okay, but don't give me a window and don't meet it. It doesn't make me trust you as a company, especially considering like Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal not only got delayed, but they literally abandoned one of the modes that they said that they were going to release because they mentioned a Dark Souls-esque invasion mode. And that was one of the biggest reasons that I wanted to get it. But yeah, I'm a huge Doom fan, but when I heard about that, I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like, that is so fucking cool. And they said, like, a few months ago, I think maybe half a year ago, like, yeah, we're going to put Horde mode in instead, because that seems to be what players want. And they just said we're shifting focus away from Invasion mode. And it's like, are you delaying it indefinitely, or are you canceling it? Because they didn't say that. And I've tried to reach out to Bethesda before, Bethesda support on Twitter regarding, like, what it means, but they don't answer. And it's like, okay, I get it. You probably can't speak to it. But at the same time, it's like, that's why I bought the game.
Have you guys seen any of the news about the new Gotham Knights game?
What news?
They showed off gameplay of Nightwing and Red Hood just going through the city, showing traversal, some combat. I thought it looked good. People apparently hate it.
I'll say, and I didn't watch it, so don't take my opinion. I did not watch the new gameplay. Like, just from what I was hearing, it seems like the thing I said with Redfall, where it's like co-op, looter, killer, like get better gear that's different colors, crowded UI, you know, like that kind of thing. Is it that?
No, not really.
Okay.
People are saying it looks too similar to Avengers, and I don't agree that it looks like that. It does not look like that. What it's supposed to be kind of a, like, Arkham Knight. Did you play any of those Arkham City games?
Oh, I didn't, but keep going.
Well, it's supposed to be like that, but people apparently are saying that with the new gameplay that was revealed the other day, that it looks terrible, and it looks like Avengers, and I just don't see it.
Okay, I might have to watch it, because Arkham games have always looked interesting. Like, I mean, they've always looked cool to me. That's what the new Spider-Man is pretty much based on, right? Like, just conceptually.
Has the same combat, just, with Spider-Man powers, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it looks really good, but I'm apparently in the minority.
I like the concept of all the kids, having their own spotlight.
Are you a comic book fan?
I have not read much.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, no, I'm a pretty big comic book nerd. And I love Batman and all things Batman. I was super into the Arkham games. Super into all of that. So I was really looking forward to Arkham Knight. Or not Arkham Knight, Gotham Knights.
Well, I really hope it turns out. It's a big one. Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that, Jam?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to Suicide Squad a lot more than Gotham Knights. More just because I like the theming in Suicide Squad a lot more. Gotham Knights, I'm just like, I don't really play enough Batman or let alone superhero video games to kind of get into it. I always kind of like the more out there stuff. But then again, I feel like I shouldn't be so picky and I should kind of explore more. Like, I really want to get into the Arkham series, but so many games.
Asylum and Arkham City were super good games. I didn't get into Arkham Knight as much. I kind of stopped gaming around the point that Arkham Knight came out, and I started again, I think a little after that release, so I just kind of missed it, but still, like, I love the Arkham series.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get into it. Super excited. Do we have anything else that we want to bring up today?
I have a very quick little indie recommendation I gotta give. Okay, it's this game. It was in the Indie World Showcase that Nintendo did last week. It's called Gibbon Beyond the Trees. It was in the showcase for 10 seconds during a sizzle reel, but it kind of just caught my eye. I was like, huh. So I looked it up, and it's about gibbons, that's a type of monkey or ape, in South America and their endangerment. And the devs are super passionate about stopping all these really bad issues called deforestation, climate change, and poaching, and supporting the game, supporting them, and then they tell you all these places to donate. And so they're really good people, and then the game itself is it's really beautiful. It's an hour long. The art style is all hand drawn. It's really heartbreaking a little bit to kind of go in depth into some of these issues, especially from the animal's perspective, and I just loved it.
What's this game called again?
It's called Gibbon, Gibbon,
okay.
Beyond the Trees.
Cool.
And I really recommend it, and it seems like supporting it is supporting a good cause. So I'm very pro that, using these people clearly they know how to make a game, so when people like that can use their talents to help better the world, that's awesome to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a quick thing as well. So in July, there are actually some pretty big game releases coming out. We've got Digimon Survive and Shin Megami Tensei Soul Hackers 2. Really looking forward to both of those. Soul Hackers 2 is not a monster. I don't think it's going to be a monster collector like the other Shin Megami Tensei games. It looks like kind of you're building out a party with weapons and armor like a normal JRPG. But Digimon Survive is full-on monster collection, and I love monster collection, so really looking forward to that.
I'm really excited about it. The setting looks really neat. I'm looking forward to seeing more Komoot about it, but at the same time, I'm like Persona fan first right now. That might change as I play more SMT, but yeah.
Yeah, and then also, I know we gotta wrap it up, but like one more July JRPG, Live Alive remake.
Yes, I'm so excited for that.
That looks good, and I hadn't even heard of the original before the remix original reveal, but like, it looks awesome. My favorite thing is not playing games. This game is 20 hours long, which is my favorite because I hate long games. I can't. Like
only 20 hours? Like we're talking about the same game, right? Like Live Alive or Live Alive?
Yeah, it's
awesome.
20 to 30. Yep, and I saw that and I was like, instant buy. Long games are so hard for me to do. I'm doing Elden Ring right now. I know it's going to take the whole year.
How's that going?
25 hours in, just got into Ray Lucaria. If that's a spoiler, you can cut it. It's really fun. It's really good. I'm struggling with the difficulty a little bit, but obviously that's par for the course. It's really awesome. I can't wait to see where it goes.
All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. I've been Leave 3D with my co-hosts Cable and JupiterDawg. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you guys later. You can check for our socials in the description. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.
See ya.
Thank you.